Welcome back to Girls Across the Pond.
Hi, welcome. This week on Girls Across the Pond, first of all, thank you for coming. We are going to talk about sounds, ASMR, and what things we miss about each other's countries. So hang in there, stay tuned, and join us across the pond.
How are you doing? It's been a week since our last episode. Not since we've talked, but
it has been a very busy week. Do you like my blue chair? I got a new blue chair.
It matches your snail.
It matches my snail. That's Percy the snail from Beyond Type 1. How cute is he?
So stinking cute.
This week has been crazy. We have been moving in to our new condo here in Florida, and it's just boxes everywhere. You know, it's a mess.
Casual moving environment.
Yeah, typical. There's boxes everywhere. There are bugs like we couldn't have imagined. Bugs. Big spiders. Nasty. It was very funny. The other day, there was a box laying out of something we purchased. Excuse me. And Dad lifted it up, and underneath it, I'm not even kidding, was a bug, a spider, probably about that big, probably about a good 3 inches in diameter. This thing was huge. And when he lifted it up, he was standing and it was right by his foot, and the only thing I could get out of my mouth was, big, oh, big.
Nah.
Oh, so that's been fun. But we ordered these really cool things. You can't see one from where I'm at, from Amazon, that are ultrasonic bug repellers. So we plug them in and they emit a really high-pitched noise, and they're supposed to make bugs scatter. We were a little worried about the dog because she could hear them, but she's fine. Yeah, we were a little worried about that. She's totally fine. So fingers crossed. Ooh, what a cute mug.
It's actually new. Thank you for noticing. I wasn't showing it to flex or anything, but this is my new mug. Got it from Wilco.
Nice.
Which is a lovely UK store that's kind of like TJ Maxx. But just like the home furnishing section of it, like home goods. But it's really cheap. So
nice. How
that's
much you spend on that bad boy?
I got this mug and another one, like another plain black one that just says tea on the side. And I got both of them for £5.
Oh, I raised you well. Nice. That's a great mug.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really big. I'm actually drinking
just like the
this,
spider.
Big. I'm actually drinking this. What's inside my mug is this sparkling cream soda just from Boots. And this entire bottle fits in this mug. Like, it's a big mug.
So you're not actually drinking coffee?
Not right now. It's 7 o'clock at night here, so I would be up all night if I were to do that. Gotcha. So I'm drinking sparkling cream soda.
Very nice. I have my herbal tea.
Very nice.
Drink. Let me see your necklace again. You got to show everybody your necklace.
Yes. So this is a gift. Was this a birthday gift? It just came from yours truly. And it is, you can see it perfectly here when I hold it up to the camera like this. It is a little dog, and not just any little dog. It's our dog from home. Who you can see if you follow us on our Instagram page at Girls Across the Pond. You can see exactly what a spitting image this is of her. But on the back, it also says, you can't see that, but I'll just tell you what it says. It says, could you go for a little something? Because that's what we ask her when she's hungry. Like, if she's hungry, and she's definitely, like, gotten used to hearing that phrase and, like, associating it with food. So when we say, could you go for a little something, she, like, looks up at you just like this. Like, oh, yes, yeah, I could go for a little something.
And she usually licks her lips, like.
Yeah, like she knows that we're talking about food. So that's what it says on the back, and it's very, very cute.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great necklace. I love it.
Nice. Nice. So how's your week been, darling?
Oh, it's been an okay week. I have been focused on a lot of school assignments and working on a lot of like stuff for my YouTube channel. I've been writing a lot. I've been reading so much. I finished not just one book, two books, and I'm already 40% the way through my next one. Because Tahara Mafi's writing just has that effect on me. But I've just been reading a lot, too.
What have you been reading?
The Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. It's like my all-time favorite series. It's like this. It's categorized as teen fiction dystopian, but honestly, it's very romance-oriented, and it's not like Twilight level romance because I can't handle that. But it is very centered around a love triangle. But I love that series with my heart and soul, and my favorite character of all time, Warner, is in that series. I just learned, reading it through this time around, that he has dimples. I didn't know that, or if I did, I forgot that detail. And she was talking about, she was talking about how he was playing with a dog, and he started laughing, and that he, like, his dimples poked out, and I nearly, like, fell apart right there reading it. I was just, like, I combusted from, like, my emotions all at once. I just love Warner so much.
So you enjoy a man dimple?
No, I just enjoy Warner. She could have said he doesn't have dimples, and I would be like, oh, perfect. And she could have been like, he has dimples, and I'd be like, oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Like, you know, he's... Honestly, I said this before, but I don't know why everybody tries when Tahara Mafi gave us Aaron Warner.
State of the art.
That is just the line that I hold all people to from now on.
Nice. School's going well?
School's going well. I've got some assignments that are, like, kind of stressing me out. But it's going well, to answer your question, yes. I was very happy that we got, not really homework, but just, like, in my lecture last week, one of my lecturers was like, hey, look at these vocab words, like, look up what these mean, or whatever. And this week they actually asked, oh, did anybody actually look up what those were? And I was like, I did, and I can tell you. So I had a little Hermione Granger moment. Yep, I was like, here's all three of the words you asked me to define, and I can tell you what the definitions are saying. Like, it's not just meaningless words. So that was a good moment.
Did you write them in a sentence?
Yes, I did.
Nice. Well, let's transition right from that into language. How's it going? How's your Korean going?
It's going well. I actually had a nice study thing today. I actually didn't think of a thing to teach, but I think instead I would just like to kind of talk about just like what I've been doing to study. Actually today I did a whole bunch of vocabulary around religion because very nice, got a Russian notebook. I've been doing some studies around religion and culture, so that just is like, it's literally just a whole bunch of vocab that I wrote down today. So just like different words that involve religion, culture, ancestor, church, chapel, whatever kind of thing. So I did that today, but typically a lot of the ways that I learn when I'm not sitting down learning grammar is either through reading vocabulary, and I'm talking mainly about vocabulary and other grammar structures that I just like pick up, is the idea of just kind of acquiring it rather than sitting down and focusing on learning it. So I've been learning a lot through reading and a lot through listening/watching. Like, while I'll watch a K-drama, and like, for example, there's this one ending that's like pronounced gun. So you could say blah 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 gunyo at the end of a phrase, and it implies that whatever you're saying, you're expressing with surprise. So, like, I could say, I didn't realize you read that book before, and I could say, 그 책은 읽고 본 적 있어군요, would be explaining that I was surprised that you have read that book. Oh, I didn't know you had read that book before. But literally what I'm saying is, you've read that book before. But just adding that little ending is expressing a surprise. I didn't know that. But that was something that I learned when I was watching a K-drama. I just saw this phrase and I knew the entire phrase, and then I saw that ending on the subtitles and I was like, okay, I understand all of that. Why did she add that extra blurb? So I just looked it up and now I know. So that's how I've been learning a lot recently.
Nice. That's amazing. I'm having trouble with this alphabet that I'm trying to learn, which by the way is called Azbuka. Azbuka, that is my word for the week. That's what the Russian alphabet is called. And there are many books of Azbuka. You can get them for little 2-year-olds, and I will be buying my own to get me started. It's right at my level. But yeah, this alphabet is throwing me for sure. I did find out that the 2 silent letters, they're actually just signs. They're not letters. But the alphabet, the Russian alphabet has 33 letters in it, and 10 of them are vowels, so you'd think 21 or 23 would be consonants, but it's not. 21 are consonants, and the other 2 are symbols, which count as letters in the alphabet, but they're not really letters. And I think that's what was throwing me. But they just have to do with the inflections and things that you put on words. And
okay, that's actually similar to French.
Is it? Yeah, I haven't learned that much yet, but I did discover that. And I've downloaded a whole bunch of wonderful little worksheets for myself. And I've started to write some of those. I really want to find a sheet, and they probably have it on Amazon, that I can download where I can actually trace the letters, because actually making some of those Cyrillic letters, I just, like, it looks like a scribble. Looks like I have Parkinson's or something. I don't know what I'm trying to write there. So I need to really figure out how to write those.
I would recommend, like, the best way that I learned the Korean alphabet, because the Korean alphabet is, out of the entire essence of the writing system, because Korean is the easiest writing system in the world, the alphabet, just learning the symbols is the hardest part, because once you learn how they line up with each other, it's really easy. But there's, I'm not going to get the number right, but there's like 14 consonants, and then there's like another, like, 10 simple vowels, and then like another 14 complex vowels. Like, there's a ton of vowels because they all only make one sound. But
they all only make one sound? What?
Yeah. Like how in English the letter A can be pronounced a, like a whole bunch of different ways. They all only make one sound. So you see one, like the equivalent of the letter I, it's like just a vertical line. That will always be E. Like, there's no other way to pronounce that. What I did is I used flashcards, like, all the time. And then if there's, like, a specific stroke order, like there is in Korean, I would recommend learning that. Like, obviously, it's, like, not if you write it wrong. The stroke police aren't going to come burn down your door and be like, you wrote this letter wrong, you're under arrest. But it helps you to write the letter more naturally, as well as closer to what a native would write it.
What's that called?
Just looking at stroke orders.
Stroke orders.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And then once you get familiar enough with the alphabet and, like, you start, you know, you're farther along in the language learning journey, it also is worth looking into for anybody else that's listening that is learning a language, looking into handwritten things in whatever your target language is. Because, I mean, even in English or any Romanized alphabet language, there's a big difference between things that are typed and things that are handwritten. I mean, I know I speak English as my mother tongue fluently, and there are some times where I cannot read what somebody writes because it's so messy and scribbly, and I'm like, what does that say? That literally does not look like it's English. And so it's, like, worth looking into, but you don't need to do that, obviously, like, right now. But later in the future, maybe looking at some. I know Russian cursive is something that a lot of people freak out about because it's insane.
Yeah. It looks really weird too. Like, I'm not gonna hit that. At best, I'll get the handwritten one down. So yeah, language is coming along. I actually had time to focus on that a little bit this week. I'm in my new office and it feels so good. I have a desk.
Very nice.
It's pretty. Everything's put away. Because I'm OCD like that, which is a great transition to what I want to talk about today. Is a couple weeks ago you mentioned to me ASMR, and we were chatting about it.
How is ASMR related to OCD?
I'll get to that. So you tell me, go ahead and talk about ASMR. what it is, what you know about it.
I don't know what the acronym stands for, actually. I'm not sure. But, I mean, the idea is, to my knowledge, I'm not somebody that delves into too much ASMR, but it's like creating, it's literally just making sounds. Like me tapping on my mug, I'll do it next to my microphone. Or like the sound of me drinking water. Like people will hold up like a microphone to their throat as they drink or something. And that like qualifies as ASMR. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Yes. It's supposed to calm people's nerves to hear these like subtle, almost a white noise, but it's not a white noise. It's just a noise.
Yeah. It's supposed to be soothing, relaxing, meditative.
Do you find that relaxing? What do you think of it?
It's not personally my cup of tea. I think I don't know. It's weird because for how much of a music production student I am, and like how much of a musician in general I am, the amount of time a day I need everything to be completely silence, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. It's like most of the day I need everything to be absolute silence. And like there are some times where I can like slightly hear my roommate playing guitar across the room and I'm like, that's too much noise. Headphones in, noise cancel on, like I can't think right now. Like I need silence, so it's not my cup of tea. But I also know some people who find it very relaxing and soothing just to have like a background noise on.
Well, I was scrolling through social media a couple weeks ago, and you had mentioned ASMR, and you played me a little bit of it, and I thought, oh my God, that sounds like the most irritating thing on God's green earth. I couldn't possibly ever.
People have it's like a lot of swayed opinions typically.
Yeah, I need quiet. I'm like with you. I've had people who say that they're best creative when there's music playing. I think, oh my God, how could you possibly? So anyways, I was scrolling through social media and one person wrote down this word, misophonia. I think I mistyped it. I think it's Phonia, misophonia. And I thought I need to Google that because as you know from growing up with me, yeah, Misophonia, misophonia. I can't even drive if there's something tapping in the car. How many times have I pulled over and gone, I gotta fix that? If there's a ball rolling around in the back seat, kind of rolling from side to side, I had to pull over. If there's a seatbelt that's kind of rattling a little bit, stop it and fix that. It's driving me crazy. And when I heard this thing, misophonia, which is actually defined, and I've written this down because I was so curious about it, I thought, what? It's in misophonia, specific sounds elicit an intense negative emotional response. It was strongly related to obsessive symptoms of OCD. OCD symptoms partially mediated a relationship between AS severity and misophonia, which is interesting. And some children with autism have a difficult time with sensory stimulation, as we all know.
Yeah, I know that.
And there's speculation that misophonia and autism may be linked. And I think that's very interesting. So anyways, symptoms of this condition, is it a condition or what is this? I don't know what this is irritation turning to anger that generates from the noise that you're hearing. Like you just get so irritated. You're pointing your finger at me?
Yes, all the time. The amount of times I've literally been, okay, this isn't like to roast you, but like when I'd be like, you'd be taking me down to like, I don't know, soccer practice or something as a kid, and I'd be in the car and there'd be like a ball rattling in the back or whatever, you'd be like in a fine mood and then you'd pull over, get the ball, put it away, and when you got back into the car, you would have been the most mad, like, Satan, like,
Satan-like.
floors the gas pedal. It's not that intense. That was very melodramatized. But, like, you'd be very upset. And I was like, bro, it's a soccer ball.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, what is this thing? I need more information. Disgust turning to anger. Hello? Becoming verbally aggressive to the person making the noise.
Oh, no. Does that mean, like, if you were, like, ever in a public library and somebody was being too loud, you'd be like, shut up?
No, but I think it. I wouldn't say it, but
yes. I know, totally, like, you've definitely, like, when we've been in stores, like, a kid's been crying and you've been, like, the mom
Shut the
needs
kid
to
up.
shut the kid up. Which, like,
pretty much.
yeah.
Person.
No.
Listen, it gets
because
worse.
like sometimes though, to give you credit, like there are times when like people are making noise and they're very oblivious to the fact that they're making noise. So thinking that isn't wrong.
Yeah, well, I just think it. Getting physically aggressive with objects because of the noise.
You slamming things?
Lashing out physically at the person making the noise, taking evasive action around people, making trigger sounds. I'm like, all of these.
I'm
So
also
anyways,
just like, I'm just like picturing like the worst case scenario, and I'm just like picturing like one person like clicking a pen and somebody else with this just like turning around and like putting them in like a throat chokehold, like shut up, like that's just like what I see in my head.
It does. It like seriously irritates me. So I thought I'm gonna go find a test online and find out how this goes. So I found one, and I want you to take it along with me. I've already taken it, and I've got my answer.
Okay, this will be fun. This will be fun.
Okay, so you're having dinner with your family, and someone is eating with their mouth open, making a chomping noise. On a scale of 1 to 10, where does that put you? 10 being like I'm going crazy, and 1 is like, no, it's fine.
It wouldn't. I don't really know if it would bother me on like a angry level. I would be embarrassed if they were my guest. I'd be like, okay, that's kind of like bad manners.
Yeah, but
But actual like
you?
smacking, like,
Yeah.
a 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
was an
that's
8.
not that bad.
I was an 8. Okay, put you down there for a 2. Let's go to the... Whoa! I just opened another browser. Hold on 1 second. Okay. You're in a waiting room, and a baby won't stop crying.
5. That one's a little
5.
bit more for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little more understanding on that one because I thought, well, it's a baby. I was more annoyed with the mom thinking about that. I'm like,
I'm, even like the times I babysit, like I didn't babysit very much as a teen. And like, it's not like I was a bad babysitter. I want to clarify. I did a good job babysitting. But like also whiny kids, it's just a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, stop whining.
Yeah.
I didn't rate that one too bad because I thought it's a baby. Okay, so you're in a meeting sitting across from you is somebody who's tapping their pen on the table.
0. I am the pen tapper. Mom, I'm a drummer. That's like built in. If I'm not tapping a pen, I'm drumming on the table. If I'm not drumming on the table, I'm drumming on my lap. If I'm not drumming on my lap, I'm tapping my feet. Like something is moving in rhythm. There was one time in math class where I was like taking a test and I was the pen tapper and a kid turned to me and was like, "Can you please stop?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry. And then like immediately was like, just like I put my hands down and then I was solving the problem and then I just started drumming on my lap and they looked up at me like, "Bro," and I was like, sorry. Like it was totally unintentional. So no, that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, yeah, I was like an 8 on that one. In the same meeting, the person next to you on the other side is drinking coffee, and they're making a slurping sound each time they drink.
I just did that, so also 0. You know what? Just for like comedic effect, I'm gonna like take that one signal of my coffee slurp that just came up on my microphone, and I'm just gonna like boost the gain on that so it's really, really loud right before you ask that question.
Oh my god. Okay, you're working at your desk and people are standing near you talking and laughing.
Ooh,
funny?
10.
Oh,
10.
I know!
Can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's even worse though. Like the bigger pet peeve of that is like get out of my space. Because I'm very introverted and I very much have a bubble. And so
Yeah.
just like people getting near me and then talking when I'm not involved in the conversation, I'm like, leave. It's not
Go.
important for you to be here. Leave.
Yeah.
If it was like a
gets me angry.
cafeteria, understandable. There's lots
Oh,
of
yeah.
commotion going on. But if it's like my own like office area, I'm like, bro, what are you doing here? Go.
Right.
Get out.
Be gone. I'm working. Exactly. There's traffic on the street outside your home and cars are honking their horns at each other.
Oh, I live in the city, 0.
Yeah, that one didn't bother me too much. I kind of expect that. In the evening, a car is parked near your home, and you can hear a very loud bass noise coming from the car.
Oh, 0.
Oh, 10.
Mm.
Drives me crazy. I want to go out and slash the tires.
Oh my.
Yeah.
If it was a car horn, that would be a different situation.
Even pulling up to a red light and somebody pulls up next to you and they got the bass just going off. Like,
I know. I've been in the car with you when that's happened. And I know that upsets you. No, you just are like, dude, turn down your music. It shouldn't be that loud. But I've been in the car when the bass has been boosted. Neither of any of those times I was not the driver. I was a passenger in the seat of somebody who turned up their music that loud. And I was like, don't you think we're bothering other people? And they were like, I don't care. This is my car. And I was like, you're right. Let's jam. Like,
I knew who that was.
Two people. But yes, probably one that you're thinking is probably correct.
Yes. You're listening to a podcast, and the host's voice is dry, and you can actually hear the spit crackling in their mouth.
The spit crackling? Okay, wait. Spit is not dry. So if they have spit in their mouth, that means they're salivating, and that cannot, in turn, be dry. So which one are we going for? They just have, like, a really spitty mouth?
Aquarius.
Like, you can't...
Yeah, it doesn't. The radio, and you can hear the guy going... Does that bug you?
Maybe like a 3.
Oh, really? That's probably my biggest pet peeve on God's green earth, when I'm listening to somebody and I can hear the spit in their mouth.
Oh, so can you, like, not watch TED Talks? Because, like, TED Talks, they have the microphone that's on their face, and they're condenser mics, so they're what's considered extra hot is the word, like, extra sensitive to everything. So you can hear every, like, okay, that, and a TED Talk... It's like famous in TED Talks specifically, but like a lot of those side face microphones that are really small that tape to your face can hear them in like Broadway musical theater productions where like they need a lot of like power to reach the whole auditorium. It's really common too. Does that not bother you then?
I can't hear it there, but when I'm actually talking to somebody and I can hear the saliva in their mouth, it irritates me so much, and it almost brings on a feeling of me wanting to vomit. I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach. I can't talk to people like that. It drives me nuts.
Wow, no, I'm like a 3. It's a little more irksome, but...
There's someone who lives in my house with me that does that all the time. And I've told him, I'm like, I can't. You're driving me
Someone
crazy.
that lives in the house with you? Mm-hmm. Are they in the house currently, or are they in Colorado currently?
No, they're here.
Oh. Okay, well, I know who it is.
I told him. He'll come over and just kind of hover over the top of me and be like... I can't. Okay, you try listening to some ASMR, like I would do that in my free time, and this person is whispering very quietly, but they pronounce their S's and P's louder than anything else.
I have a bigger problem with the S's and P's than I do about the whispering. Which one are they asking for the thing about?
The person is whispering quietly, but they pronounce their S's and P's louder than anything else.
Oh, okay, so I'm getting irked at the S's and P's, not the whispering. Okay, S's and P's are like a 6.
Oh,
that one's pretty bad for me. Because as a producer, it's something that we pay attention to a lot when we're mixing. And it's like the same thing as like if you whistle your S's. It's just like annoying. It's just like this, all of a sudden, this high cut frequency that like, I guess, I don't want to say my ears are more attuned to listening for, but it's like more prominent because I spend more time focusing on it in my like everyday life while I'm producing. And it's just like this extra like harmonic frequency that's in like, I don't know, the 12 kilohertz range. It's like really, really high. It's just like this cutting sound, not with P's, but with S's, like that whistle S. I just can't stand it.
Yeah, interesting. And I might do some of these things, but I'm just saying they're things that irritate me as the person hearing it, as the receptor. How about you go into an store to change something, and while the store employee is processing your return, they clear their throat over and over and over again.
I don't care.
Oh, throat clear. That's why I did it earlier in this podcast. And I was like, oh, excuse me.
No, yeah, I don't mind.
You're on a bus and everyone around you is coughing.
Ooh,
That's
10.
That's just bad manners. Like, well, I mean, if you're coughing, you're coughing. But I mean, if you're coughing, get off the bus.
Yeah, everyone's just like...
Yeah. So
Coughing is a... Yeah.
I did that. I forgot to keep tabs on yours as to where you'll come out, but I'll send you the link and you can take the test again and
Oh, wait, after all that, you didn't calculate my score?
No. Well, you said 10 on this one. Let me go back. And that didn't.
I was all excited to hear my score.
Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, so your score is... What do you think your score is going to be?
Out of, what is it out of?
You don't
100?
have... I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't give you a number. It says you do not have misophonia.
Well,
look at you. Nice.
I didn't think I would.
Mine is, you've got it. I mean, you probably knew this already. Sounds haunt you wherever you go. The really mundane sounds that everybody seems to ignore drive you crazy. Eating noises disgust you. Loud neighbors, not just rude, but offensive to your ears. People talking, get out of here. Someday there'll be a misophonia support group, and you and I will attend together, my friend. They didn't mention the one thing that drives me crazy, and it's not just a noise thing like that, but it's people who talk, either who chew gum and smack it. Ugh.
I know that bothers you.
I can't. It drives me nuts. And I have to calm down from that one. And being in a grocery store or any store where you're in line and the person behind you's on the phone.
That bothers me.
Yapping
That I just feel like it's bad manners. That and phones in elevators. Being on the phone in an elevator. It's like, bro, I don't want to hear all of your conversation.
I'm surprised they get service.
I know, I never get service in the elevator anyways. I couldn't even yap if I wanted to.
Yeah, so next time I get annoyed about the ball slapping in the back of my car, have patience with me. I suffer from misophonia. I suffer. Okay, so the other things I wanted to talk about today were things that you may miss from the U.S. versus things I miss from the U.K. and what's great over there and what do they do better than us? What do they do worse? The first thing I can think about when I think about the UK, and I think they just nail it, is public transport. I think, and it's so funny because so many of the Brits complain about it because they'll be like, oh, well, this train's not running today. And I do remember a time when we were up in Leeds, and we were trying to come down to London, and we bought tickets in advance for a train, and we got to the train station, we were ready to get on, and that train wasn't going to run today. They just decided not to run it, even though they sold tickets for it, and we didn't get
really?
any kind of... Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was Simon's birthday weekend. We had him come up, and he met us all up in Leeds, and we were all having a good old time, and then we went down to London, and the train, even though we had tickets, they sold them. They were just like, yeah, we're not going to run that one today because it's Sunday. You'd think they would sell tickets, or they would have sent you an email saying, you got to reschedule this or whatever, but we got to the train station at like 7 a.m. for our train, and it wasn't running, and we had you do remember because we had to sit on the floor in the next train, and then some people got off, and we ended up getting their seats.
I do remember that. I don't remember that was why. I just remember sitting on the floor.
Yeah, there were 2 trains on one train because they weren't running the first one. But overall, I think the UK does an amazing job with public transport, moving people around. There's always a way. You never feel like you need a car there. I mean,
that is very true.
We've rented cars, but
because I live in the city, so honestly, I just walk everywhere. I don't waste like any money on any public transport because I'm already like too nervous about spending all my money on food. So I just walk everywhere because everything's in walking distance of where I need to go. But I agree, we have a public bus system up in Leeds because we don't have an underground train. But I live probably like a 15-minute walk away from the train station that can get you to other places in England, not just around Leeds. But the tracks come past my dorm, and there are trains going down that all the time, back and forth. So, no.
Okay.
The cars honking are louder, and the ambulance station is the worst part. I live right by an ambulance station, and it's just sirens all the time.
I agree. I think the U.S. does better with emergency vehicles. If there's plenty of ambulances and fire trucks that are heading someplace that don't have a siren on because they can get where they're going, and they seem to only put them on when they need people to move. But in the UK, they're just on all the time. If that key's in the ignition, the siren's running, and it's very loud.
I haven't paid attention to it, if I'm being honest. The sirens here are very loud. I was walking along the street one time because I walk everywhere, and an ambulance passed me, and I literally, like, it hurt my ears so badly. I literally was like, oh my god, I just lost, like, 2,000 kilohertz of sound just out of my right ear from the sound of that.
What about healthcare? Have you had to use any yet?
I haven't.
No,
So
but you can get free stuff. You're signed up.
Yeah. The nice thing is that if I need a doctor, I can call in or do walk-ins. Well, not walk-ins right now because of COVID, but I can call in, like, anytime, like, in the morning and schedule an appointment within, like, I think within 24 hours, like, you're able to schedule an appointment, but typically, like, within the week, depending on your schedule and stuff like that, to see a doctor if you need. Like, it's so it's so immediate, which is, like, really nice. I just think that's really nice.
I've heard the difference on that. I've heard that it takes people up to 3 weeks to get in to see a doctor, which to me, I don't think that's outrageous, because there are times where I want to book an appointment for somebody I need to see, and it's 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes you can get in the next couple of days because they have an opening, but most of the time you have a couple of weeks you have to wait for that. That's fine.
I think it depends where you go and where you're signed up. Obviously, you know, some places are going to have more availability than others, but I'm signed up with a student medical practice, like, that's geared specifically toward students. So obviously there are less students in the population, so there's going to be less, I feel like, demand to see a doctor.
See, that's one of the things I think the UK does really well, is what you were just talking about, is student things. There are so many benefits for students. There's student discounts and student pricing and student lunches, and there's all sorts of things there. And there might be here, you know, you guys weren't students here, college students here, so I can't really equate that, but I don't think, you know, when I go places, nobody asks me if I'm a student, probably because I don't look like I am, but I don't know that there's many student discounts around. Like, if you go to Arby's for lunch or whatever, they wouldn't have a student meal, but they would at places in England. They would have the student packages.
Yeah, you're right. There's, like, a really great app that we use out here called Uni Days, which you hook it up to your student email, and it literally is just, like, a whole bunch of companies and brands that do deals for students, but you have to get it validated through your student ID and your student email, obviously, to prove that you're a student. But once you do, you have all the coupons open to you, and some of them are stuff that I'll probably never use, like for some clothing company that I don't shop at or whatever, but, like, some of them are really nice, and like the delivery food apps like Just Eat and like Uber Eats and all those, it'll be like 10% off this one restaurant or something like that, which is, like, really nice, and I know quite a few people that cash in on those, so it's a nice app, and I'm very thankful for it out here. I've saved a lot of money.
Yeah, I think the student factor is great there. The things that what do you think you miss from the U.S. that we do better here, that you're like, oh, I wish we had that here?
Panda Express.
Full stop.
Yeah, period. That's all.
And you have Burger King. I found my little pods, by the way. These headsets are not working for me today, but I found these while we unpacked. Yay. My buds. Yay.
I'm trying to think what else. Honestly,
when you came home over Christmas, what were you like, oh, this is nice?
Jimmy John's.
Oh, they don't have Jimmy John's?
No, they don't have Jimmy John's.
Oh.
I got a birthday free sandwich from Jimmy John's, and I couldn't eat it because I was out here for my birthday, so I had to give it to Simon. It was sad. So I hope he cashed in on it.
They have other sandwich shops out there, though, yeah?
I haven't really found any. I don't really eat sandwiches out here. Oh, yeah, Prey. But I
miss Prey.
I don't go to Prey a lot. Well, I don't really eat out a lot ever, unless it's somebody in the flat. There's 5, I have 5 total. I'm one of 5 people in this flat that I'm living in. So a lot of us will do, we'll like gang up, like 3 of us sometimes, or like different people in the flat. And we'll do like a big meal deal purchase on a delivery app. So like the other day, 3 of us got Taco Bell, and it was like a big meal pack like thing, and it was like, I don't know, 20 pounds, but there was some discount we had, and it literally ended up being like 3 pounds a person or something like that. It was like insanely cheap because it was split 3 ways, and we had a ton of food. We literally had leftovers for the next day. So sometimes I do that, but other than that, I don't really eat out.
Yeah. Just eating in. The freedoms of the lockdown here in America, I think, are better. I mean, you're under such strict lockdowns, which is terrible. And Simon's heading back tomorrow. No, he's heading back Wednesday, so he's kind of dreading that.
But also, everything's about to open up again. March 8th is when things start opening up, so that'll be nice. But also, I mean, I kind of don't mind. I'm introverted anyways, so it's like, honestly, let's be realistic here. Right now, I'm staying in because I have to, but as soon as March 8th hits, I'm staying in because I want to. Like, either way, I'm staying in. We're just changing whether I have say over if I'm doing it or not.
Not much is going to change.
Yeah.
I'll still be reading. Weather? Now, a lot of people would say that the English weather is worse, but you tend to like it there, yes?
I love the rain, and Leeds is very foggy, too. So, like, this morning, when I say foggy, I don't mean, like, oh, yeah, like, there's a kind of, like, a cool misty cloud. Whoa. Like, genuinely, I opened my window, and I could not see anything. Like, genuinely, there was, like, nothing. It was just fog. And it's so cool. It's really cool when it does that at night, because you can see the street lamps, like, from afar through the fog. But other than that, you can't see anything. Like, sometimes it's like so foggy. I'm on like one of the top floors in my flat, and it's so foggy I can't see the ground. Like, it's so cool, and I really like that. But I love overcast weather. I like the vibe of it. I like the eeriness of it. I've said before, I love horror, so I love that. And I just find the rain really relaxing. One of my favorite things, here's a sound that I love, is I love waking up with the sound of rain, like, pittering on my window. With, like, I have blackout curtains, which is a very nice thing for them to give us in a college dorm. But blackout curtains, and my room gets very dark at night, which I love. And I just like waking up and not being able to see anything, it being, like, pitch black, and just, like, hearing rain on my window. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. Let's just stay here for a little bit.
See, I'd miss the sunshine. I was there all the time.
No,
I don't mind English weather for bits. I need sunshine.
I'm not a sunshine person. I'm really not.
See, and we're in Florida right now, and the sun is shining all the time.
I will say, I couldn't handle that. When it comes to sunshine, it's weird because I prefer the warm than I prefer the cold. But I like the rain more, so I'll take the cold if it means rain. But there was one time when we were in Arizona, and there was a monsoon, and Arizona's hot as all get out. And it was the warmest rain I have ever been in, and that, to this day, has been the best rain experience I have ever had in my life. I was, like, so content. I was like, I never want this to stop. It's raining. I love it. It's hot. I love it. It's why I feel like an Amazon or a jungle would be, like, very nice for me.
It's very humid here today. We got a clock for the lanai to see what time it was, and it's got a thermometer on one side and a humidity, what is a humidifier? I don't know what it is.
Humidity meter.
One of those. And last night it was 65% humidity. Now, coming from Colorado Springs, where it's, you're lucky to be between 10 and 15% humidity, it's just like, I feel drenched and sticky all the time right now, which is kind of nice.
You ready for this this episode of Joan's Fun Facts? You want to know what I learned the other day that is spawned? I swear, these aren't regular elements, like regular reoccurring weekly Joan's Fun Facts. It's just you say something and I know a fun fact based off of it, so it makes me happy. But I just learned recently that when you look at like a weather app, and you say, and it says like 30% chance of rain, it doesn't mean there's a 30 out of 100% chance that rain will fall in the sky. It means that 30% of your nearby radius will have rain. In like, I think it's like a 10-mile radius, but like within that radius of, so if 100%, it means that entire area is going to get covered in rain. Or not covered, but it's going to rain in that area. But if it's 30% or something low, it only means that little bit of that area is going to actually get rain. That's what it's supposed to mean. Granted, weather predictions aren't always accurate, but that's what it's supposed to mean, as opposed to just, well, there's a 30% chance that rain is going to fall from the sky today everywhere.
That's interesting.
So, now you know.
Sure I don't know if I thought about it that much. That's why I didn't have much of a reaction. I was processing.
I always thought it was like, oh yeah, there's 30% chance that there will be rain today, but that's not what it is.
I think that is how I thought of it. No, right now, no rain. But we are heading into the rainy season.
Is it hot rain in Florida? I imagine it would be hot rain in Florida. I would be so jealous.
It's supposed to start in March. March through June is, quote, the rainy season, why everything here is so green, because we're supposed to get a lot of rain here in the next 3 months, and then starting in June starts the hurricane season, or hurricane, as a lot of people out here say.
Hurricane. Oh my.
Hurricane season. Whatever
hurricane
that is.
Season. It's like how Coloradans say mountain. Mountain, and not mountain.
Yeah, no T in that. And that's supposed to go until October, although
it's a long season.
They have had hurricanes all the way through December.
Whew.
But they're supposed to end it in October. So we'll see. If it gets too precarious, we'll just hop in that little Wondermobile and head out of here.
Nice one.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Anything else you miss from America? What else do the Brits do well? I have to say, I always appreciate, I ask you a question, then I answer it. I always think the Brits are very organized and very simple. Like Brexit, I know I've said this before, had 500 pages to it. The United States Obamacare package had 5,000 pages to it. So, I mean, it was clean, simple, to the point, and I've always felt that way with any kind of paperwork that I have to do for the UK. I think it's very simple. COVID, though, is a mess. It's an absolute mess. Trying to get Simon's paperwork to get him on a flight in 2 days is a nightmare this time. The stuff we have to fill out, and he has to test twice once he lands. He had to take a test today prior to his flight, and then he has 2 more when he's in quarantine. And trying to find a link to the actual paperwork to order the test for when he's in quarantine, that was near impossible. In fact, I was trying to get him to find it, and he's like, "Mom, it doesn't exist." I'm like, well, you have to have it. So their COVID stuff, they're just really very chaotic about. But overall, I think the UK does things very, very clean, simple, as much as they can, with red tape and paperwork. I think it's pretty clean.
I also don't think we ever specified this. For anybody listening that doesn't know us personally, Simon is my brother. I don't think we actually ever said that on the podcast. So if you hear us talking about this magnificent Simon, we're not talking about Simon Cowell or any of my professors here at university, because there's like 5 Simons here. We're talking about my brother. But I think it's hard with paperwork and stuff like that, because it's just hard anytime you go internationally anywhere. Because I had to get an asymptomatic COVID test to get approved to go back into school for the studios and recording. and I walked in to the university campus where they were doing the asymptomatic test, filled out one page for the NHS, and then did the test. I was behind a barrier, and somebody watched me take it, like, and instructed me how to do it, and I was like, okay, cool. So I did it myself, and they were like, yep. And then they had me wait to just see, like, to make sure that it would process okay, and I didn't, like, mess it up. And then I left, and I got my results back in an hour. Nope, didn't have COVID, so I got approved. So in that manner, I think they are nailing it.
Yeah.
And that's for students. And we are also pounding out the vaccine. So I think that's really good.
That's got to be probably one of the biggest pluses from Brexit. And, you know, I don't really know how I feel about Brexit. I don't live there.
Well, we're not going to get into it because this is not a political podcast. So
no, we're not. But I will say one of the best things about Brexit is the whole COVID situation. I mean, the UK compared to, like, Germany and France and handling all the vaccinations and things, you guys are just absolutely killing it over there. So that's good.
But in all honesty, I don't really think I think about differences between the UK and the US that often. It's weird because everybody asks me about it. Like, everybody. It's so frequent. Like, if there's, like, some really basic ones that people, like, don't know about things if we have it in the States, and it's like, yes, we have milk in the United States, or stuff like that. Like, it's, like, so dumb, and it feels like that. Nobody's actually asked me if we have milk, but, like, it feels, like, dumb enough to be like that, and I'm like, yes, I'm not an alien. I know what this is, like, so, but, like, I get asked stuff like that a lot of times. Like, I'll mention, like, there is, like, one candy out here called Smarties, and it's not the same type of Smarties as in the U.S. The U.S. has little Smarties that are, like, a chalky kind of candy, and they're, like, sweet tart almost.
Really sweet, yeah.
And here, Smarties are almost like M&Ms, but they're bigger, and they're made by Nestle. Is, like, the brand that has Smarties. So, like, there'll be times where I'll mention, like, oh yeah, the U.S. doesn't have Smarties, and people are like, what? Like, what? And so then it just turns into, like, this big, like, well, do you have blank? Well, do you have blank? Is this a thing in the U.S.? Do you know what blank is? And I'm like, yes, okay, yeah. But other than that, like, I don't really make the comparisons too frequently. It's more like people asking me, do you have this? Do you have this? But I don't. Honestly, I say I miss Panda Express and Jimmy John's, but I haven't really thought about it. I didn't think about it until I got back to the U.S., and then I was like, yeah, this is really nice. I missed having this, but I haven't ever sat in my bed, like, awake at night, like, could really go for some orange chicken from Panda Express right now. Like, I've never done that.
Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn there was Panda out in the UK.
They don't, at least not here. We in Leeds just got a Taco Bell.
Is it a good Taco Bell?
Yeah, it's pretty good. But we don't have the Cinnaballs. But we don't have the Cinnaballs. There's something that the U.S. does better. But actually, it's probably not better. The reason we don't have it in the U.K. is it's probably because it's really unhealthy. But I miss the Cinnaballs.
Yeah, everything is much cleaner. I think the food over there is way better. Like, even if I go to Starbucks, I have to ask for things sweetened that I normally wouldn't have sweetened here because it's already sweetened here.
I think following that, just, like, unintentionally, that, like, the fact that things are, like, less sweet and probably have less sugar in them, and they just, like, have different ingredients because we have different products out here, just unintentionally, like, I lost more weight from that. Like, not more weight, but I lost weight from just the conversion of eating different foods and different types of foods by different brands and, like, what ingredients they have in it. Because, like, Quaker oatmeal, like, in the U.S., has, like, if you look at the ingredients on the back, has, like, oats, like, I don't know, and then continues, but it's, like, this long list of, like, all these chemicals. And if you take, like, Quaker porridge in the U.K. and turn it around, it's, like, oats, wheat. Like, it's, like, two things. Like, it's not... So, you know, you're getting a very different side of things. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
So you're eating a lot healthier, which is great. Kind of good for you, Ems. Yeah. What about your travel to other areas? I wanted to ask that, but of course you've been locked down, so it's kind of a moot. Maybe we need to table that for later. Just being able to get in a train and go to Scotland for the day, or...
Oh yeah, I haven't done anything about that. It kind of upsets me. But before lockdown was happening, my flatmate and I, she and I are getting a flat again next year, which is good, so we'll still have this opportunity. We were planning a trip to Germany through Europe, like for one of our reading weeks where we have like a week-long break. We were going to go to Germany, to France, to Italy, Spain, and then up to England again and back up. And obviously that did not happen.
In a week, you were going to do that.
Yeah, just kind of like make our way across and then come back up. Not really stay for too long. And then that got shelved. And then I came back in January, and we hadn't gone into lockdown like yet from where we are currently, and my birthday's in January. And so the original plan was when she returned from winter holiday and came back to the flat for my birthday, we were going to go up to the Scotland moors, and just like spend a nice day on the eerie moors of Scotland, because Joan loves creepy things. Cool. And she jump scares really easily, so I just like the idea of like going and disappearing in the foggy moors and then just like popping out at her. Like that's just like makes me so content just thinking about it.
What a good friend.
I'm such a good friend, if you couldn't tell. And then like I think like maybe a week before my birthday, no, two and a half weeks maybe before my birthday, we got put into lockdown again. So that also did not happen. And I've just been here. So no, I haven't even gone down to London except for when you were here and I came to see you. Like I genuinely have not left the city.
Yeah. Lockdowns suck. Sorry. Speaking of that,
I'm introverted, so.
Yeah. The next week, because we're kind of wrapping up here, next week I want to talk about things we suck at.
Okay. So when we follow that, we'll have like so you had your little talk about Misophonia. I don't know if that's the actual word for it. Misophonia? Misophonia. Well,
I know it's because I said that.
Then when we get to that, make a note so I don't forget. When it comes to things we suck at, we'll talk at my really, really bad imposter syndrome that I have.
What?
You can't look it up because I'm going to tell you what it is. But I was in a master.
Imposter syndrome.
There she is. She's making a note of it. Yeah. I was having a master class with the one and only Andrew Sheps, a huge name in the music industry and the production music industry, and like there were like 100 students all on there like here to absorb all of his words, and somebody asked a question about imposter syndrome and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I looked it up and it was like brain explode. I was like, oh my god, it all makes sense now. Like I didn't realize that this was a thing. What? So yeah, okay. You can't look it up, but I'll explain it to you next week.
Okay, I'll pop it on there. I also want to talk about the Beatles. We talked about that a little bit in the past. Why are they still so relevant? 60 years now past when they first broke? It's crazy.
Don't roll your eyes. They're so good.
No. I love the Beatles, and here's a plug for you. You've just put out a cover of Let It Be, which is getting all sorts of traction. I mean, a song that was written in 1968? So it's over 50 years old, and you put it out there and people are still responding to that music. Mm-hmm. Why is that? I think that's great. So I'd like to chat on that. As well as I'd like to have some gator talk, because we got a new pet. Or two.
Yeah, they got a new alligator.
We have 2 alligators. Go figure that. So there's a teaser for you. Why would you have an alligator?
The struggles of being an alligator parent. Teen rebellion.
Yeah, so that's all coming up on our next episode. So do tune in. Come back and join us.
Thanks for listening. And if you're not following us on our socials, make sure you are. Girls Across the Pond on Instagram, Girls Across the Pond on Facebook. You can chat with us there and let us know. Do you have misophonia, whatever it's called? Do you have that? Because let us know. I'd like to know. Maybe we can find that you're not alone and that a ton of people have this. And then they'll be like, oh my god, I took that test too and I rated everything a 10. So, like, you're not alone.
Oh, that'd be great.
So yeah, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you.
Too. Okay, and that's all for this week.
We'll see you in the next episode. Bye!